Hi there, welcome back to Voluminum. This is episode 15, and I've actually been very busy, despite the lack of recordings and episodes that have been coming out over the past couple weeks. This whole virus thing has been pretty crazy. Everyone's been home, including myself. I've been home, thankfully still working. My shifts are just a little crazy right now. Some days I'm working more than normal, some days I'm working less than normal, and the kids are all home from school, so there's very sporadic times that I can play. Varies between maybe 1 to 3 hours a day, if that, and pretty much no time to record because everyone's home. But anyways, I want to show you one thing I've been working on that I'm pretty excited about, I'm pretty happy with. Let's go through here, and we'll take a look around. This is my bee dome. I guess that's what I'm calling it. Let's actually land on this beacon, and I'll just go into free cam. Might be easier. Let's land here. Alright, free cam looks weird because of shaders, so I'll just F1. So this is, if you can't tell, it's in the void. I talked about way earlier, I think in episode 2, when I wanted to make a bee farm in the end, because that way they don't go into their hives and hang out forever. It's a much more efficient farm to put it either in the nether or the end. And I didn't want to do the nether because I couldn't use water to transport all the items. So it would just make things easier to have it in the end, also in the void. So let's go up on the top here. It's a pretty big dome. I actually just wanted... It took me a while to figure out. Yeah, and this is my way of getting down for now, which is kind of annoying, but not a big deal. Let's fly off the tree here. This is a lot bigger than it seems, this area. So what I've got set up here, okay. What I've got set up here are 4 modules of farms, and I've got 11 beehives per module. One side does honey bottles and the other side does honeycomb. And what they do is go down below. They're picked up. They're transported to the middle where I have the storage set up for them. And these are just some... this is just an item sorter up here. God, that looks weird. Item sorter up here with a Shulker box loader into a little Shulker box viewer. I don't remember who showed this Shulker box viewer off. I think I found it in the Tech MC Archive Storage Tech channel. I don't remember who it was by though, sorry, but it's a pretty basic Shulker box viewer kind of thing. It just reads the signal from the Shulker box, and then when it's empty, it will send a signal to break it. And the only way to make this tileable is to use honey and slime in between, so it doesn't break 2 boxes or more at a time. And I just made this little platform here to come down and get the boxes. So far it's working pretty well. Got tons of, yeah, this one's filled up. So it's clearly, I used 4 for honey bottles and 4 for honeycomb. And I already had quite a bit of all of that from the other farms. But I wanted one that is like the main farm for bees and stuff for the future. So if ever we need a lot of honeycomb or honey for any reason, we have a way to AFK. So if I AFK here, it's pretty fast, all these modules, because they don't have the day-night cycle of going in their hives at night. So yeah, I thought I would show this off, and I might add more to it. I actually thought of adding some natural trees in here, just bone mealing some saplings and adding some real beehives to it, because all of these are the crafted hives. And I don't actually have many like natural hives, and I know these days you can actually just grow them or off of trees in certain biomes. And I think the tree turned out pretty well. It's a pretty big tree. First time I ever built like a big tree, or tried to make a big tree. This dome was pretty easy. I just kind of used World Edit in a creative world and made a schematic of it, so I didn't have to like figure out each dimension of layer. I just kind of made it, I think it was like 45 diameter, something like that. Made it pretty big so this tree could fit. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. So this is officially our bee dome out in the void here. I think it's a good addition to the end dimension. Alright, well if we hop back through here, I still want to break this bedrock and make a cool little platform around this gateway. And I haven't used those three yet. Their usefulness is TBD. I don't know if I just want to leave them regular gateways to take me way out into the end or void gateways. I'll see. I've been coming up with ideas for the island, and I want to talk about kind of what I've settled on basically. I've got 3 pillars down total. I don't remember how many I had last episode, if I showed off how many I had, but yeah, I've got 3 pillars down now. Working on number 4. You know, the rest in due time. Takes kind of a while. Oh, I do want to show what I got set up at the bottom of these. I don't think I showed off at the last episode either. Whee! And this is something one of our members on the Ingenium server did as well when we took down the obsidian pillars there. Just make kind of like a bubble column, so when you fall down from AFK mining the pillar, you don't accidentally like mine a block and then fall into the void. So these columns basically keep you from falling in, and just, you know, if you step away from the computer and come back, you're not dead. Basically. Now, can I get out of here? Whew. Oh! Okay, that always scares me. Oh my god. Alright, but anyways, I want to talk about my plans for the end here. So, I want to have kind of a story / lore to this end island, because it's going to be a pretty big project. It's actually going to be a massive project, because I'm going to terraform the entire island here. I haven't exactly decided how it's going to look. It's really going to be organic, somewhat, in the sense that, like, I know I want the land to go out and reach out to each under each gateway, and then have a little column up to each one, and then maybe a walkway around. But in the center here is going to be our storage. I've decided it's going to be in the center under this gateway, or around it, kind of. And also in the center, around that storage, is going to be a massive volcano. Yep, it's going to be a gigantic volcano that's, and still deciding block palettes and all that. This is going to be a project that's going to go into 1.16. It's mainly because a lot of the blocks I want to use for this end island decoration are from 1.16. And I got a comment from DIY Storm on YouTube on the last video about using these bedrock pieces as kind of like energy cells. And that was a really cool idea. And I think I want to do something like that. Except instead of energy cells giving energy to some kind of like machines, they'll be giving energy to the actual biome and island itself. So basically the bedrock pieces will be the life sources of the island itself. Let me try and explain kind of what I thought of. So in my mind, I'm thinking the end island wasn't an island. This is the lore that I kind of came up with, is that this wasn't always an island like this, like a barren wasteland. I want to make it look like it was a really lush and vibrant biome that had all sorts of creatures and mobs that were inhabiting it, and it was really lively. But the dragon came, took advantage of the resources that this biome had, and pretty much nested in the center of it. And that, the kind of the evil force that the dragon brought kind of erected these pillars, and then in doing that formed a volcano in the middle that erupted and destroying all the land around. That's why this is void, and that's why the main island would be, by itself when there's no other land around for a very far distance. The story is that once the dragon settled in and the volcano formed, it erupted and destroyed all the land around, and made this a very, very terrible place to be. And then we came, the player, and slayed the dragon, and we're going to restore this place back to its beauty. So let me know what you think of that idea. I think it's pretty cool. It'll give the island a much better feel to it, I think. And once we're done, all this end stone is going to be gone or not visible, and it's going to look like a beautiful biome that once was. The volcano will still be here. That's obviously, we got to bring it back, but we're going to make it look really, really good. And you know, it won't be active anymore, obviously. So, but I want to make it look like there's, you know, traces of the destruction, and the volcano will house our storage inside of it. So I've got a lot of work to do here in terraforming. I've got to mine down a lot of this endstone to make room for our storage. So I've got a lot of mining ahead of me, but I think it'll turn out really, really cool. And I've got an official project name for this. It will be Project V.E.I.R, V-E-I-R. Voluminum End Island Restoration. It's pretty simple, but when I refer to Project V.E.I.R, it'll be this. And when I say this project, means the entire End Island terraforming and storage project that we're going to be working on here. And speaking of storage, I've done a lot more work on this. I think last episode I showed kind of the layout that I wanted to do and kind of the general idea of the storage, how we're going to store every single item that we can. And this is what I've come up with. We've got 3 halls, and this is more or less your general like item storage for a server kind of thing. And this is definitely overkill for a single player world, but storage systems are my favorite thing about any part of like technical Minecraft or anything like that. I just love different types of storage systems for items, shulker boxes, shulker sorters, anything along those lines. I like it a lot. So what we've done here is keep this wing over here to colors. Basically all the colors you can think of. All the flowers are crops. We've got all the coral over here. More coral there. And some more crops and mushrooms, tree saplings and leaves. That's what this wing is for. This one here is just more... I just tried to put everything together that made sense. So we've got our redstone and lights, fish and wood stuff, all the wood stuff, and I think I pointed out that I've got signs for the 116 items already laid out. These already have a spot in the system, except for stuff like netherite. I'm just not going to sort that because I don't think I'll ever just be dumping it into the storage. The netherite, I'm sure I'll keep in a shulker in the ender chest or something like that instead of just in the system. So with more snapshots coming out, there's been more blocks added, so I've kind of had to rearrange things and add quartz stone bricks here next to the rest of the quartz blocks. And I've had to add more at the end here. The soul campfire was added, so I wanted to put that at the end. And then I added black stone, all the black stone blocks that were added in the latest snapshot. I love those blocks, I can't wait to get them. And the basalt stuff and the new nether bricks are up there. I might rearrange this to have all the nether bricks beside each other, but we'll see. I might move the obsidian stuff to the end there. Yeah, you know, either way, I'll figure it out. And I've kind of messed with designs and decoration for this. I don't know if this is exactly what I'm going to go with, but I just wanted to see what colors would look like in here. See, I've got concrete here. I tried with concrete and I tried with some quartz as well. I might end up making these pillars on the outside of the terracotta quartz as well instead of concrete, because it looks kind of odd with the concrete and quartz, but it also kind of works in my opinion. I don't know, I have a weird taste in how things look, and I have a much more susceptible like things are, as far as how things look, is I'm easily pleased in that sense. So and then this is kind of the floor that I went with. These waterlogged stairs look really cool. And I didn't want something that I had to run over and it would make me go up and down. I hate stuff like that. Except this here, this little bump, so it's easier to grab these top chests, kind of. That's the only, hump in the system there. And so this is the floor we've got. So yeah, that's basically stage 1. And let's talk about these redstone lamps, because they are not just for decoration, they're actually indicator lights. So I've made a little system underneath here that will detect when items are being sorted through this system. So each side has 2 of these like pickup slices here, so when items are coming in through the system and they fall down over this tripwire to the next stage, it'll send this signal out. So it holds the signal there until this clock runs out. There's going to be groups of items coming down through the string here, so it won't just be this one and then that's it. There'll be clumps coming after another, and it'll be refreshing the signal. So I wanted to have this in a way that the signal here, see, we can watch it here. This is now it's down to 5, 4, and then we can refresh it. Say another item comes through, it'll send another signal out and refresh it so this lamp turns back on. This is something I wanted to know if system is running. So I know this wing is running, this wing, and I can track an item. If the last group of items is going through the system, I can track where it is and track basically just to see if the system is running. Because this lamp right here shows that it is running, and that's just taking a signal from this clock up here that turns on when the items are being dispensed into the system. And that just shows that the system is running. So let's see if I can't. Let's just put a stack of items in here. Whoops, I meant to do this. Nope. Like that. So let's put some items in there. This is sending the boxes up. Alright, that's a little loud. It's good that this is up here instead of down here somewhere where I can hear it, so I won't have to listen to it the whole time I'm down here trying to get items. And so that sends boxes up, and once the boxes are empty they come back down and they go back into this. This is empty boxes. Okay, so this signal is turned on now, and this piston extends. Just turn this little circuit down here on, turn this lamp on, and that just lets me know the system is in general running, but these lights are for which side of which wing is running. And that's just something that I wanted for myself, just more information for me. So if I didn't go over this input yet, it's pretty simple, but it's one that El Mango has on his Skyblock server, his storage on there. This is where you put the boxes in, and this is where items will go into this shulker box. And when this shulker box gets enough items in it, it'll automatically break and be dispensed up to the system to be unloaded, or I can just break the box manually. That needs to be fixed. And it'll go down into the system and go up there and dispense the items. And this lamp here just shows that this chest is full of boxes to put into here, full of empty boxes, so I can load up items in here. And when it's off, it needs, you know, empty boxes, so I can load some items up. And these lamps over here are ones I added. This is for our bulk storage, indicating that we have boxes for this lamp. And right now it's off because I haven't loaded up this. There's no really reason to. And this is our bulk storage down here at the bottom. So for now I have these items being sorted in bulk, and this is a double speed sorter and box loader. So once this system, once this chest, I fill this chest up with shulkers, it'll get a signal out to that, and it'll send the signal up to that light. So we know we have boxes for our bulk storage. When we run out, it turns off. Pretty simple. And this is for our overflow, and this should always be off, and this will be off until we start getting items backed up into our overflow system. Just in case something gets through that isn't being sorted. There should be a small chance, but I went ahead and I just went with a safe bet and put a lot of chests down here. This is just our overflow. And once this hopper down at the very end down here starts filling up with items, it'll send a signal up to that lamp. So if by some miracle items get through and start filling these chests up, at the end here this hopper will start filling up, and it'll let me know, hey, this overflow is starting to get full, you need to do something about it. And that could mean that an item being sorted up there like normal is just the chest, the 2 double chests that it has are full, and I just need to put some in boxes and put it back in the chest. And this little contraption here is something I came up with for boats, minecarts, and water bottles. And this is just for the stuff at the very end, the non-stackable stuff. I might change this out or add something else to it, because now once I update to 1.16 I can actually sort out saddles and horse armor, but I'm not too worried about it really. And armor itself as well. I won't really be dumping a ton of that stuff into the system anyway. If I get it from like a spawner room, then I'll just put it in a different storage manually. It won't be a big deal. So this is at the very end of the system, and I made sure that items will last throughout the entire system if they're being dispensed. This is less than 5 minutes. Actually, down here, I should still have the time. Yeah, I did a test. Once items go all the way around the system through each wing, when they come out at the very end down here and drop down into the bulk storage, right here was about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So that should have, you know, should be plenty of time for items to come down and go over to the bulk. And then once they're picked up by this hopper, the timer goes away because obviously they're in the system already and they won't despawn since they're not just hanging around. And that's pretty much it. Pretty happy with this. There's definitely some tweaks that need to be added here and there with these clocks. There's definitely better ways that I could do these clocks. There's a lot of comparators, and this isn't the most lag-friendly system by any means, I don't think, but it's gonna be good for my single player. It'll be the storage for my world for the rest of the time that I'm in it. And I haven't figured out exactly how I'm gonna get in and out of this thing. Obviously I left this open. This might just be walled off, and the entrance, like I said, it'll be in the volcano, so I might have it to where I go in the volcano and drop down into the system here like this. Oh, also at the end here, you notice there's a lot of blank spots. These are for more items, because I'm sure we'll see some more new blocks in 1.16, and if not, there'll be more in later updates. And you know, worst case scenario, if they add too many I don't have enough space for, I can easily extend to each wing and just reroute the water system. It's pretty simple to do, so we'll be able to store all the items we want to. You guys remember our overworld ore banks? Because I nearly forgot about it. And we haven't filled these things up at all. We got done with our first dig, so I think it's time we put some items in here. So this is our coal. I've only gotten a little bit of ores actually. So this is just the way I'm going to do it for now. It's going to be the simplest way, I think. Let's see. So I'll probably just fill this one up. Yep. Yep, only 2 shulker boxes so far of coal ore. Progress! We've only got 1 of iron ore, so half a double chest. Deposit. There you go. We got a long way to go. But we're going to be starting a new dig in the world very soon. So let's go over to our diamond. We've only got 2 lights here, and I've got very little ore, but I do have some to deposit. So there we go. Our first bit of diamond ore deposited. What is that? 6 stacks. Not bad. And that's it. And our system, our storage system over here, I don't have a box yet for any of the other ores, so I'm just waiting on those to fill up. I'm sure I've got plenty already, but just not a full shulker box. So patiently waiting for these other ores, but in due time. And our spawn is still pretty dull. Pretty blank here. Just got the iron farm and those end crystals I stole from the end. I haven't done any work here yet. I've been busy with a lot of other things, but hopefully soon we can do some work here. I think for starters, I am actually going to flatten most of this area and at least light it up, and then the ocean we'll just leave as is for now. I realized this was a pretty talky episode, and I don't have the best voice to listen to, so if you made it this far, thank you for watching. That's going to be it for this episode. I'll see you next time.